Morning, everyone. I've kind of got the camera precariously balanced on the dashboard here, so I don't know how this is going to work out. Hopefully I don't hit a bump and the camera comes toppling over, but wanted to do a little vlog on the way to work today. Been waving at the crossing guard daily on my way to work. This is the same area that I used to walk to school, and there's always been a crossing guard here ever since I was a kid. Not the same crossing guard, but to me that crossing guard has always been a symbol of my childhood, and so whenever I see the crossing guard, it's like I have a little window into my past. So I wanted to talk more about autism and the way that most autistics deal with stressful situations, particularly with relationships, close relationships such as spouses and maybe boyfriends, girlfriends, brothers, sisters, whatever. But what I noticed in my own life is that I was attracted to an individual who was the opposite of me. So that person is very passionate, very outgoing, but also it can have traits of attention deficit disorder. So when it comes to stressful situation, which is caused primarily by my reaction to my wife's behavior, possibly maybe I'm going through stress at work, and that's spilling over. Where my boundaries are being challenged, which all of our boundaries are being challenged 24 hours a day, all of our life. But with the autistic, their boundaries are challenged more so because they have more boundaries. They just have more personal space issues. We have more noise level issues. We have more lighting issues, stimulus just in general. And when you add all that up, it doesn't... Oh, that's what I thought. I thought it was going to fall over, and it did, but that's okay. So, essentially, people think that those on the autistic spectrum don't communicate emotion well. And that is kind of a two-sided issue, because on the one hand, we do at times vocalize our frustrations, and it can come off in a very curt and uncaring or angry manner. But is more to do with the autistic reaching the end of their resources to identify or deal with the constant barrage of emotion, stressful situations throughout the day. So that's one aspect of it. At that point, that can cause a very hurtful situation for my wife. Her feelings can get very passionate, and her feelings are, she wears her heart on her sleeve. And so when I cross that boundary myself in saying something that is very hurtful to her, then I'm aware of where I am at or what I have said. Then I become aware of my own frustrations more so. But at that point, it's kind of too late. My ability to talk out what I'm going through is sort of trumped by my need to recover from the situation. On some days, I have the wherewithal to be a better person and, fess up and apologize for my behaviors, because I don't think twice about it. On other days, I simply am tired of apologizing for behaviors that in some ways I don't have control over. But when I am in the better place, I don't have to second guess or think about it anything further. Sometimes it's just better to apologize even though you don't feel like you're in the wrong. Or it's a situation where you've said something that that it was hurtful to that person, but you really want them to know that what you were saying didn't mean it to be hurtful. But sometimes those things come out unconsciously. I think with an autistic individual, I think the subconscious emotions that are occurring bubble to the surface at times when the stress becomes too great to continue to move throughout your life without saying things that you're thinking or processing. Let me hold the phone here while I go up the ramp. Okay. So I find myself in a pickle where suddenly I become immobilized in everything, and I have no desire for almost any of my projects at all. And I myself am left wounded and trying to recover from a situation where I've hurt my wife by what I've said. Maybe I said something to the effect of, "Why are you asking me that? You just said this. Why would you say that?" And then just the tone of my voice was enough to cause a hurt feeling. And then it just gets added to the history of the behavior, and everything comes up again, and I don't know how to, oftentimes it's like you need to go to a counselor, you need to learn behaviors to change, which I do believe that's all beneficial, and I have done that in the past, but I think that at this point in the game, I'm 44, I believe, and I am pretty much who I am, and at this point, if I were to take any kind of a drug, I suppose I would start to just, I don't think it would make me a better me. I think it would just make me a different person. And I'm so opposed to drugs and mood-altering medications. But the problem I have is with the recovery. 3 days ago, this event occurred, where I said something in a curt and angry manner. But at that point, I just went silent because I don't have anything to say in my defense. I don't find that talking it out is fruitful for me or my wife at times, because it often would lead to more incidences of conflict, in trying to discuss feelings and what did you think at that point, and why were you saying this, and what could you have done, and most times that I get into those types of discussions, it would just be more opportunities for me to say the wrong thing again. And I know that my heart is in the right place with my loyalty to her, my devotion to her, my love for her. And from my perspective, I feel like that's the most important, is where my heart is. And but my wife is a different person. She needs more. She needs words. She needs those things. So what I've found in the past is, though, in letting this situation cool off, so to speak, she can see that eventually I am making the choices that I need to make for her to be number one, for her to be taken care of, those types of things. That I show her by my actions that I do love her, and that I'm not as my primary aim in life to make her life a life of pain or being hurt. So it's a complicated issue for an autistic that has married more of a neurotypical individual, perhaps even another individual that suffers on the opposite side of the spectrum. So relationships can be very stressful for the autistic, but they can also be very beneficial, because they push us into learning more about the neurotypical world around us. Our spouses can be a great resource of insight into the minds of other people, and when we can look through the eyes of our spouse, we can begin to catch glimpses of how the world works around us, and how there's different perceptions all around us. And so I think I'm going to leave it at that. God bless you all. Keep